People, Deluded, I'm back again. I hope you're all doing well and safe, whoever you are, wherever you are. A quick one, and I'm not going to be here long. Probably will in true DG fashion, but whenever I talk about new signings or players in general specific to Arsenal, you always hear me say things along the lines of, I'm looking for the 3 C's. I'm looking for competence. Are you a defender? Can you defend? Are you a striker? Can you score goals? Are you consistent? There's no point being competent one week on a Thursday if come Sunday you're not able to do that. And I always talk about confidence. Confidence is actually the topic of this video because I feel it's easy to be confident. Not that it's easy. Some men are more introverted. Some men are all, whatever the other word for introvert is, extrovert or whatever. Some men display confidence in other ways. Some men are quietly confident. Some men are, the arrogant confident. Some men are, a bit of both. And why I don't care what these players are like specific to Arsenal, how they are, why I preach that, and obviously I'd like to extend that to Arteta, is because you're playing for Arsenal Football Club. If you play for Arsenal, you play for United, you play for Liverpool, you play for Chelsea, we all know the amount of praise and scrutiny that goes in, and other teams, week in and week out. It's a madness, people. It's a madness, It's easy when everybody's praising you. Oh, Aubameyang, we need him to stay. Arteta's the must hire. Lacazette this. Pepe that, all of these things, it's great. But when it's all going against you, when the fans, I'm not that the fans don't believe in you, but there's pressure from the fans. When, the footballing world, whether it's the media, former pundits or whatever, whether, it's that, whether clearly, you lot are professional athletes, you haven't played well. And you have to know this season you haven't looked certified. So the doubts in yourself, you need to, for me, I want to see our players channel all of that and fight back. I always give the example, if you're backed into a corner, eventually, that animal instinct is going to kick in. You either fight back to whatever is oppressing you or troubling you, or you curl on the ball. And this is kind of what Arteta was speaking about, how who's going to blame other people. For me, the boys need to have it out. Centre halves lay into the fullbacks lay into midfield, everybody lay into each other. But then when that's all done, why did we go wrong? What individually, the 11 that were on that field, what have you done that contributed into that negative result? Over the 25-man squad, what have you done to contribute to where Arsenal find themselves in? Have you been playing the best? Have you been playing to your ability? If you haven't, which no one really can, probably only Gabriel could talk about that, Saka as well, off the top of my head. If you can say that you've been playing to your best ability, then fair enough, but probably none of you can't. And I'd say confidence as well, because I need you lot all to be confident in yourself. Like I said, the world is telling you you're not good enough. The world is saying you shouldn't be at Arsenal. Everything, same way it can all go right and the sun's shining and when everyone's praising you, it's great, it's all going wrong. So when, not that the fans are turning on you, but when everything is turning on you, when you're starting to disbelieve in yourself, I need you to fight back. I need you to remember who you are. Look at Aubameyang. Deserves to face criticism and the music. He's not doing the business. You're seeing all of these, I would feel your way. Remember when Arsenal fans 2 years ago wanted to sell Aubameyang, they were begging him to sign a new deal. Now you're saying the contract is a reason for his form. I can't blame fans. That is obviously something that can be spoken about. But Aubameyang, you don't become a bad player overnight. Yeah, you might be declining, allegedly. Yeah, you might not, for first season in a while, not return mad numbers. That is a possibility if you keep going on. But you don't become a bad player overnight. Form is temporary, class is permanent. You have dragged this club by yourself at many a times. You have scored a lot of important goals. You have been a clinical striker in the Premier League and previously at Dortmund. You don't become a bad player overnight. So I'm going to need other players as well, but I'm going to need Aubameyang to remember how good he is and fight back. Going away with Gabon, doing your thing now, being away from Arsenal could be a help. The same goes for Lacazette. Now, Lacazette's never been amazing. He's always been consistently inconsistent, whether that's goal scoring or his good form. But remember, there's a reason you got Player of the Season a couple of years ago. Arteta, everybody was praising you a couple of months ago. They weren't talking about your lack of experience. Rightly so. Now it's looking a bit shaky. You deserve to face criticism because I myself don't understand some of the things you're doing. But you didn't get this overnight. There's a reason as to why in a short space of time you've claimed the Community Shield and an FA Cup. There's things you could learn from. Like I've previously said, he's got to learn from mistakes. I feel the players let him down when we exited the Europa League over those 2 legs, but I think he didn't help himself. This season he's definitely not helped himself with his decisions. This season he's not shown me that he's necessarily learned from, not that his mistakes last season, but the mess he inherited last year. He recognised the defensive need to improve, but he should have known in the medium to long term, especially going into this season, we need to attack better. And I know pre-season was disrupted and whatnot, But I do think I'm not seeing the building blocks. I just would have thought, okay, cool, we're not playing expansive football, but same way in defence, we saw, okay, cool, they're pressing a bit better, they're doubling up a bit better, they're still making mistakes, but there's evidently something they're working on the training ground. That's what I wanted to see. If there's movement, if there's a couple more passes, if there's a couple more options for man in possession, I can say, all right, cool, I can see something. Then we can talk about, in the same way, Gabriel defensively, cool, let's bring in an attacking man. But Arteta, you have got some ability. Like I said, he's going to make mistakes. He's made mistakes. He's going to make more mistakes. He's going to get it wrong, as are the players. But I'm going to need all these players to fight back, man. And this is a perfect... I thought I have to do this because it kind of highlights what I'm talking about in terms of confidence. You've got to fight back. You've got to believe in yourself where nobody believes in you, because fans are fickle. But at the same logic, if you was playing in a certain sort of way, the fans would... I know we're not in the stadium, but the fans will give you the energy. You're moving shaky, so how can the fans will always blindly support. They'll always gas up the team. They'll always cheer on Arsenal. But you can't expect them to not be nervous when you men are playing like this. You know, you give confidence to the fans will match it, and then we'll be the 12th man. Again, I know we're not in the stadium and all of these sort of things. Football's a fickle game. In the same way I said in my live stream, Willian, Suarez, you know, these sort of men, of course they're not amazing players, but if Willian, you know, had 10 appearances, 5 goals, 7 assists or something mad like that, can't deal with ifs and buts, would man be saying, oh, we're just you know, agents are being allowed to get their feet in Arsenal and marry us sort of thing, and get their clients on big contracts and not perform? If they did the business, you know, Cedric Suarez and him, for example, man would be saying, oh boy, this is what we wanted with Raul Sanya, utilising the contracts and the agents and for good effect. That's how fickle football is. You know, if Aubameyang scoring goals, yeah, he's signed a new contract that's giving him the clarity, and now he can just focus. He's not. So, you know, it's highlighted. And this is football. This is football. Football, the beauty and the gift of football is that it changes very quickly. You know, it's a beauty and a curse. It can get, you know, you can still have a decent season. Dare I say a season to remember. But you lot have got to do it. There's no good turning up the occasional Man United game or, you know, the FA Cup last season. You've got to do it over 38 games. It's tough. It's hard. Being consistent is tough. There's times you probably don't want to do it. But there's no hiding place. And time and time again, all of you players look stupid because you've done a bunch of talking. Every time the going has got tough, you failed to come through it. You failed. You know, we need to... Are the players genuinely sitting at it and looking at it as Arsenal fans, contextualising the games and the performances and applying balance? There has been some positives. You know, right now there's been some negatives, you know, off the back of, you know, 2 defeats sandwiched in ending that run at Man United. So the players need to fight back. Better talking. If you want top 4, if you want to put in more of a fight, you have to go do it on a football field. And the way you're playing, you're not doing it. Arteta, you know, you need to start managing to the point where some of your decisions are looking backed up. If there was creativity, man, I'm not speaking about Ozil, man, I'm not really speaking about Aouar to a degree, you know. If Lacazette and another striker was banging, man, I'm not speaking about Aubameyang needing to play through the middle. You know, if someone else was doing their job, you can say, all right, cool, Aubameyang can't get up front, car, he's going to disrupt the balance. You haven't got a leg to stand on, you know. I understand what he's saying in isolation about Pepe, but you ain't got a leg to stand on when I'm seeing Willian playing equally as poor, you know. You haven't got a leg to stand on in several things. I want to see, you know, there's a lot of good Arteta has. I still think he's the manager to turn us around. If he isn't, we'll review it. But I still think he is. But what he's got to do is look at all of these games properly and see where he's went wrong and spot these signs. Because one thing, I said Arteta is going to make mistakes, but he's got to fail fast and learn even faster. That's the way he's going to be success. He's going to learn on the job. And I have to say for Arsenal, I don't know, you know, I don't know everybody's coaching staff life story, but I know he's, and not to be ageist, you know, shout out to that 24-year-old Carlos something at Arsenal. But this is where I said it was vital to surround Arteta with experienced coaching staff that could tell him what he might not necessarily be able to comprehend. In the same way, is Edu surrounded at his job with the most competent individuals? Because we've seen a bagger man leave. We've had a disastrous transfer window. Yeah, we brought in Gabriel and Partey for what, 70 million. That's a great bit of business. But we've not brought man in. You know, we've not found a loan home for Saliba. We've not brought in a creative man, and there's still question marks over several members of this team. And when I'm hearing Ornstein say 2021 we're well ahead of our preparation for such, seeing is believing sort of thing, people. And as I said in a previous vid, we heard about stat DNA and we're using less scouts. You know, Mislintat under Emre, you know, they wanted Partey. Mislintat used this stat DNA program, it threw up Torreira. So why are we not using it? Okay, we tried to get Aouar, that's the #1 target, but where's Joe Bloggs or or Nick Smith or you know, all of these sort of things. Where are these Joe Blogs and all of these other names being thrown in the database? Because I don't care about any player leaving this club. I don't care about Of course I would have loved Awa to come to this club. Of course I don't want several players to leave. But as long as there is, or leave players out like Ozil, because I love Ozil. But at the same point, I don't care in that regards. If there's a contingency plan, if you're saying, you know what, Ozil's not showing me this and that, everything Arteta's been saying about the squad, this and that, cool. As long as I'm seeing it on the football field, I'm seeing creativity. I'm not, so that's a question. Do you get it? It don't make sense. It really don't make sense at this moment in time, and I'm gonna need you lot all to pull together, because if you don't want to be stand up to be counted, if you don't want to make a real meal of this, if you just want to accept defeat and accept this, then all of you who want to do that need to F off, car. We need energy for this rebuild. We need people that have desire. We have no divine right to get top 4, to win any matches, to put consistency. But what I want to see is we're leaving it in the ring. That's all I can ask from my boys. If from minute first to 90, you've tried, you've defended as well as you could, you've tried the thing, and then the other teams have showed their quality or their individual brilliance, fair play. Grealish and Barkley showed their individual brilliance. But it weren't a thing where we're in the game, they nicked it at the death. They battered us from start to finish. Leicester, you know, we played into their hands and failed to realise that. You know, City and Liverpool, defeative mindsets. You know, I get that you have to consider the threats they have. You know, their attacking players and collective squads are worlds apart to us. But you still have to offer a bit more. You know, until you improve in that regards, you can forget about it, people. And by looking at it, like I said, there's no time to feel sorry for yourselves if any of you are doing all of that, because the games are coming thick and fast. On the 22nd, you've got Leeds at Ellen Road, apologies. You know, forget the Europa, which is still tough games, but Premier League, you've got Leeds, Wolves, Spurs, Burnley, Southampton, Everton, you know, and then I believe, you know, you've got Chelsea on Boxing Day. So we've got a tough period. The games are coming thick and fast. You know, we at least need to put up a fight. Leeds have done well, but don't let Leeds just roll up and win. Put up a fight away from home. Spurs definitely don't want to lose that, and they nicked it at the death against us because we weren't switched on last time we played. So I want to see an improvement in that regards, but only time will tell, people, and we'll have to see. On that note, like I said, man, I just want to see us. I just want to see confidence is the main thing. It will take these guys out, and they have to find their own confidence. I'm tired of hearing Arteta's installed confidence in them. I know your manager needs to do that, but I'm also of the belief that players need to sort things out themselves. Players need to be held accountable themselves. Do you think Jurgen Klopp needs to tell Liverpool the ramifications of winning, losing or drawing and things? They know. He can reiterate it, but they immediately know. It seems a bit too babyish, a bit too under 9ish at Arsenal, where people need their hands held. Everybody's a genius in hindsight and all of these things. And for Arteta, as much as I love him, it's not going to help you saying things like, yeah, I was tempted to start Pepe. Brother, that don't mean nothing if we're going to lose and Willian's putting in performances. I'm not making it a witch hunt about Willian, about Pepe, about Laka, about Oba. My point is there's not a single player that I believe is playing to their full potential. Definitely the attacking ones. I think obviously Gabriel's doing his thing, but you know, we're not in the sport of praising individuals. We win, lose or draw together. Man playing sick individually is irrelevant if collectively as a team we're failing. We win, lose and draw together. And like I said, well, that is all I said really. So on that note, I'm going to keep it moving, people. It's been a fantastic 12 minutes, but please make sure you hit the like button. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Check out the rest of the content. DG, I'm out.